and not show you in the studio. Is it? So we show you we took a L this morning with the first trade that was up a good set, and we just entered another position here, sent it out to the community as well, and yeah, we're holding this one, checking to see how it goes on. However, if they fail to hold, like if this fair value gap to the upside, which is resistance for a price movement or price push to the downside, if they fail to hold in this area, if the price just keeps closing, if I see a fair value gap to the upside in this area right here, then I can consider closing that trade in whatever loss that I'm in, because the likeliness of this price going to my stop loss before going down to my take profit would be higher. Welcome back to another video. We are already on the road, but drivers are always in the car now. Currently, I'm almost at the studio, but decided to open and get all the intro one time. Why not? Carry all along the journey for another day in the life of a full-time guy in this trade, actually. So, I'm gonna stick around and get another great video. Oh, and if you're new here, my name is Kevon Roach. This is my channel where I share my full journey trading full-time every day, as well as my life outside of trading. So, while you're here, like, subscribe, stick around for the journey. So, yeah, I would never believe what happened. So yeah, I can see that on the screen. Friday's trade that we held over the weekend started off really well last night on Sunday's open. We went in a little bit of a drawdown, but then we shot up. And if I'm being honest with y'all, around like 12 to 1 a.m. I was up and I was looking at the charts. Take profit was still where it was at, but I didn't close the trade. And obviously that cost me. What I did do though was brought stop loss to break even, because I think it's today is the US presidential election. It's tomorrow. It's today or tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow.
The election.
It's today. The voting's today, and they're gonna tell us what's going on tomorrow.
Well, yeah. So the voting is today, and they should have the results for the election tomorrow. So I didn't want to hold the trade like with the stop loss where it was at, and this is why. So we didn't lose anything, but we didn't close in any profit. I was like up in profit. I still didn't check the trade section on the MT4, so I didn't know how much was the dollar amount. But yeah, even though what happened this morning happened, it kinda showed a little potential for a second trade opportunity, another buy. As long as price closes above where it's at right now, then yeah, it's a possible entry. If not, then we're still watching the markets. But just thought I should give you guys an update. Sent it out to the community and we're looking for one right now. What's up? Can't get y'all in the studio and not show y'all in the studio. Yes, I? So we show y'all again. First of all, we got savagely in the car again. One time. Got the key for in the house.
Hey, birthday. Hey, I'm a birthday.
Y'all definitely can't see anything there. But this is bright as it goes. The light in the studio kind of making it look a little off. And maybe that turn it down. Probably see that going down. But that's the trade. We entered from there with that much up in profit. I don't know how much dollars, but I'm gonna let this man continue doing this stuff. Alright guys, so as you have been seeing on the screen there, we lost the first trade, so this is the second trade.
But we ain't losing that life, just know that. We still up in the game.
We got this is the second loss we took for this week since we held Friday's trade over the weekend. We took a L this morning with the first trade that was up a good set, and we just entered another position right here, sent it out to the community as well, and yeah, we're holding this one, checking to see how it goes on. Even I ain't sure I can see the bet. But yeah, this is how it's rolling. But we're supposed to make a spin in a couple of minutes, so I'm gonna give you all an update to see how it goes. So Welcome back. For those who are new here, my name is Kevon Roach, and I am a full-time trader from the Caribbean, specifically Guyana. And I've been trading now for almost 6 years, 5 years and probably 8 months. I'm counting. Yes, I count in every single solo month. But I created this channel to document my journey and share everything that I've learned, all the tips and tricks that has made it easier for me, or at least got me to the point where I'm at. So maybe anyone else interested in forex trading or learning how to trade can learn from my mistakes and also, get to see what it's really like being a full-time forex trader, regardless of where you are. So if that seems like something interesting to you, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button and stick around, because we got a lot more videos to come and a lot more content. But it's currently Friday, the 8th of November. It's probably the second time I'm opening the camera for the week, because many of you should know this week, just a couple days ago actually, was the presidential election for the United States. And yeah, for this entire week, actually last week, I had this trade here. If you seen the previous videos, we had these two trades on Friday right here. We had this sell here, which was successful, and then on Monday, when the markets opened back again, we brought stop loss to break even, and on Monday morning this trade ended up coming straight down to stop loss, but we were taking out at break even, so we didn't lose any for this. Later that same day, on Monday, I entered another buy, which was a loss. I didn't get to bring stop loss to break even for this one, so I suffered that 61 pip loss. And then on Monday again, I entered a second position, because this one was just held from Friday, so I didn't break my rules. I still stuck to the 2 trades per day rule. And this was the first entry on Monday, this was the second entry on Monday, and this trade closed on Tuesday morning, just on election day itself. So I didn't really have plans on placing a trade on Tuesday or Wednesday, but I still wanted to show up to the markets and possibly see if I could find an entry, maybe paper trade, or just enter with the smallest possible position size, stop loss and take profit, because I don't want to be scared of the market. I understand that there are rules, there are certain conditions, there are certain times when trading may be better, right? And it's good to stay out the market, but I wouldn't know when unless I actually test the waters and understand why I should stay out, when I should stay out, what happens when I am choosing to stay out. And it would only make sense to me if I have actual skin in the game. But that's just my take. It could be wrong, right? But it's all a learning process, and it's worked for me, so that's why I'll continue doing it. So that's my idea of learning by actually having skin in the game. So Tuesday passed, and basically Wednesday and Thursday I didn't place any trades, because even though I wanted to put skin in the game, I still wanted to follow my rules. So if I didn't find a trade worthy of entering, then I ain't gonna be risking capital. Right, so all that happened, and now we are here at the end of the week. Let me just give you a quick breakdown as to why I entered this trade here, even though I don't see that much volatility or volume, to be honest. Actually, let's start on the larger time frames. So since the election has been happening, NAS hit all-time highs, which is cool. Over here was the all-time high that we hit in July earlier this year. It was about 20,810, and yeah, for this week here, if we notice right here and we zoom into this daily candle right here, where the cursor is hovering beneath, from Tuesday to basically yesterday, it's just been fully bullish, just large ass candle. This is the daily. We have fair value gaps on the daily, 1, 2 gaps, and if this candle closes like that, there's 3 fair value gaps on the daily to the upside. So I guess price is moving up. I am completely bullish on NAS, right? But just hear me out here. hear me out here, because I bullish, but I just enter sell, right? That's short-term sell. That's short-term bullish. If you notice, I ain't trying to aim for any lows with this move. The most I will aim for is a fair value gap. The first possible fair value gap that I can see on the smaller time frames. That's it. That's the maximum I can aim for. And there's no guarantee that I'll hold this trade until we get to that point, but at least it's a target. And zooming here, I mean, the 4 hour basically said, I didn't even explain to you. The 4 hour basically said the same thing as the daily. Not too much information to like go off of here in terms of like why I entered this trade. It's just clearly bullish. So dropping down to the hourly, we can see a little bit more structure, a little bit more detail in the market, but still nothing clear, no clear indication that this price might want to go down. Let me extend the price just to have a better view of it. Alright, so let's do some analyzing here on the hourly. So we had that huge bull run. I don't really need to go back in the past to see the highs. We just know that we're above the highs. We closed above them, so it's not a wick or anything like that. But we had this strong bullish movement. Let me just remove the volume bars for right now. Right, so we had all this movement here for the past few days. We've had no serious retracement, and you know, price doesn't always move in one direction. Yes, we can have a continuous trend, we can have a general move in a direction, but at some point or the other we must have some type of retracement. So in the hourly here, I don't see any lows, I don't see any like 50% or anything for us to retrace into. However, if we just like pay attention to the market structure just like in this area here, we know we're above highs, we know we could see a possible retracement. Let's see if market structure could like tip its hand to let us know whether we might have that retracement or whether we just gonna keep pushing up until we create some low that could be broken in the future. So here, right, since it's the hourly, this is actually like a low, like a swing low, probably in the 15, you know? And this low was broken, yes. They had a close below it, yes. But it's like, I don't like it when you have this one close below, then one close back in type action, you know? I just prefer 2 candle close below and we work from there. So for me, this isn't too much confirmation. It still is better than a wick, because a wick is a complete no-go for me. Sometimes we'll have a close beyond my point of interest and then a close inside my point of interest. So we break out but come back in. On the larger time frame, that would be a wick, but on the hourly, if it happens on the hourly or maybe the 15-minute, I'll consider holding it. But if this double candle, this candle in my favor, then candle against my favor happens at an area of interest on something like the 5 minutes and so on, nah, that's a wick. That's a wick on the 15, that's a wick on the hourly, that's a wick everywhere else. So we broke in below this low, closed below it, and we're currently back up inside. You noticed here that the candle that broke this low, it's very impulsive, it's a large candle, it has a fair value gap. This candle was also formed after this high right here was taken. So we have buy side liquidity being taken, right? We failed to close above this buy side liquidity because price did run this high, right? And when it run this high, it didn't close. So here we have wicks on the hourly. So this is more, or this is indicating that the price would actually like to go in that opposite direction. So we got past an area of interest in that opposite direction being here with a full close. Let me just extend it back so you can see a little more detail. Now an area of interest, that I did not pay too much attention to is this fair value gap right here. So right between there, there's a fair value gap. And what I didn't notice, and I'm being honest with you, is this wick right here. So of the candles that closed beyond this area of interest, one of them wicked into this fair value gap. Now, wicking into a fair value gap, not too much of an issue, right? As long as there is some type of resistance for this price at the upside. So once it touched this fair value gap at the bottom, if it's going back up to bounce off of any point of interest, there should be a point of interest. There shouldn't just be your stop loss. You know, there should have some type of point of interest before your stop loss. If it's a fair value gap, if it's a high, in this case, because we're selling, so our stop loss would be at some point, some high, some pivot area in the past. Here on the charts, since it touched here, it did not retrace into this fair value gap here. So all this price action, this hourly candle here, here, and here are all just retracing into this fair value gap. However, if they fail to hold, like if this fair value gap to the upside, which is resistance for a price movement or price push to the downside, if they fail to hold in this area, if the price just keeps closing, if I see a fair value gap to the upside in this area right here, then I can consider closing that trade in whatever loss that I'm in, because the likeliness of this price going to my stop loss before going down to my take profit would be higher. So let me see if I can just drop down to the 15 minutes so I can have a little bit more clear price action to give you the reasoning as to why I entered this trade. Right, so the same high that was broken on the hourly, we can see it's broken here on the 15, and just as I was saying, sometimes we'll see a candle breaking close above and then breaking close back inside or below my area of interest, but it depends on the time frame, because like I said, on the hourly it's a wick, but on the 15-minute here it's actually full candles. So it's just something to keep in mind, something to take into consideration whenever you're reading price action and you notice full candle closes on the smaller time frame. You just want to go out to the larger time frame and make sure that it's not a wick or something indicating that price just took liquidity in this direction and wants to go in the opposite direction. But yeah, we have that sweep on liquidity right there, and the same hourly candle on the 15-minute candle, it's a sequence of very bearish candles, and there are multiple fair value gaps here. I would even say right above here at 21,101 is a possible area where price may want to come to before choosing to go down. However, like I said, if I see fair value gaps forming on the move to the upside, then I'm out of this trade. If the price manages to get to 21,101 without creating support to the downside, being without creating fair value gaps, without creating intermediate lows and stuff like that, then I'll consider holding this trade, because it's possible that we're just making a retracement higher before we push lower to the downside. But yeah, that would be the reasoning behind why I entered this trade. We had liquidity sweep in the past, then we had a run of this high, which was the high that swept liquidity. So we had a run of that high, and this was the low that was farmed before this high was run. This was the low that was farmed before previous liquidity was run. So we have two very important lows being broken impulsively to the downside with a candle close. You see here on the 15, we have more than one candle closing below this very important area of interest. So we have, if we count this low, which is still a very important area of interest, because it's also a low that was farmed before previous liquidity was taken. I don't know if I'm showing the right direction, but this candle that closed here, here, and here, 3 candles closing below the area of interest, and if we count this low, then we have 4 candles closing below that area of interest. However, well, ranges start out and over. So we had that push, fair value gap, and now we're having a retracement into that area. I am anchoring my stop at the beginning of the push to the downside after the manipulation, and my take profit could be anchored at this low here on the 15-minute, yes, and it's an area where I'll be keeping an eye on. So once we get here, I'll be looking at price action to determine whether I want to keep the trade open or just close it right here. But as you can see there, my take profit is set just at the opening of this fair value gap here on the 15-minute. It's not necessarily 50% of this move to the upside, but it is a reasonable I want to say retracement distance, you know, taking into account how bullish we are. I don't want to be in a sell that is counter trend for too long, but time of day, market structure, price action, they're all, you know, indicating that we might want to have a small move to, you know, a small move in a downward direction. It doesn't mean we're going to be breaking any significant levels to the downside. It doesn't mean that we're going to have a push to the downside or price is going to fall or retracement or anything, but it's possible that we see some action towards the downside from where we entered this position, and we could use that to capitalize and earn some money today. So yeah, we're still with Sieg Fund. Account $622. $800 is the target, but like I said, I don't give a rat's ass about the target. I'm just trading, and we have yet. Honestly, I just gotta be real with y'all. It's been a lot, right? Trying to trade on my personal accounts. Then I'm currently working with 2 different prop firms. I'll only mention Sieg Fund for now, but yeah, and I want to start this $50 to $100 challenge, or maybe I would do $50 to $500, but I don't want it to be like jumble up and all my efforts spread out, you know. So I was thinking, once I hit the target for this prop account, it would be the same as in terms of mentally, I'll consider it to be live, because right now this is demo, right? It's not to me, it's just demo is the truth. But with the live account and the $50 account that I'll be depositing on my own money, I'll be able to treat it, you know, with so I just believe it'll be more easier for me to handle, you know, once I am live and I have just live funds I'm handling and not focusing on passing a challenge or anything like that. Yeah, I might see better results. But hey, I still have that, you know, to do. I have that idea in mind, and I'm still gonna get that series out there to you to show you that it's possible from regardless wherever in the world you are, you know, we can trade. By the way, if you're interested in signing up and creating an account with Sieg Fund, don't forget my referral link is in the description. So using it will get you a 12% discount on any purchase of any account size at Sieg Fund. So go ahead and get your account today. And my link to the broker that I'll be doing the $50 to $100 first, then $50 to $500 second. So 2 series. You see what happens when you wait. But yeah, the link to the broker AVA Trade will be in the description as well. You can go ahead and check them out, check out the spreads, check out their instruments, their trading conditions and so on, and yeah. But for right now, the price is being the price. I still have a few videos I wanted to finish off editing before the day goes too far, so I'm gonna close the camera for now and go continue work on that. And once we get to any of our areas of interest, possibly here and here, then I'll open the camera and give you guys that update on how it's going.